Can you hear my fridge? Sorry about that. I'm gonna read a couple lines from this poem. Dried maple and ash bark, lush emerald flats, the fall-colored arena hark, the wide superior mass. At the valley's peak, encircled my life, the open space speaks. Let me end the strife.
What's up, Warriors? What a day. Some crazy things that we're going to cover today. I have both a bullish and a bearish sentiment for you. As always, please join the Discord. Link is below. We have trading mentors. They'll help answer any questions you have. Or if you just want to share an opinion, you're more than welcome to join. Or if you just want to see another opinion, you're more than welcome to join. With that, if you like what I have to say today, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. These last couple days have been a little weird, a little rough. I've received a lot of hate mail. So, yeah, we're just kind of getting through that. And to be honest, if you guys are sending me hate mail, I don't really care. I'm not going to respond to it. And to be frank, I always provide invalidation points to my analysis. So if you're going to go and say that I'm wrong, that's fine. If I'm wrong, then I buy and I win anyways. So I'm always setting myself up to win. You're just making yourself look like a fool. So first things first, we're going to talk about the Bitcoin Daily, talk about some of my invalidation points that were reached, some things I want to see if we're actually bullish or if this is just a crazy bull trap. I want to talk about the incredible market buy order that went in today, which pushed price up 7%. A little unbelievable, but we'll get to that. So I guess first, let's dive into the Bitcoin day. So here's my daily chart. Got a lot of lines here. Got a lot to talk about. So I've kind of redrew it, reconfigured everything. So if we go from my first line, I originally said that our invalidation point was this long trend line right here. So I will delete this one because it's part of my bearish statement. But we were talking about this. So we originally broke up. Sorry, that's a weekly. We originally broke up yesterday, and then we back tested, and now we're up again. This is technically a bullish sign when you break resistance and then back test it as support and continue upwards. We also broke my golden line here at 52K. We're also above the Hall moving average, or the weekly Hall moving average, which Bitcoin has never seen before. If this weekly closes above this area here, things are starting to look more bullish than bearish for sure. I mean, things definitely look more bullish than bearish right now, but guys, you have to remember, we've been under all-time high for 6 months. I know we've had a big upward swing, but please, please, don't let your guard down. That's when liquidations occur. That's when whales drop the bomb on you. That's when sell-offs are likely to happen. You have to remember, we're also up 40% from this bottom, and overall, if you pull back to 29K, we're up nearly 90%. So for people that didn't take profits here, and maybe bought more here, they're up 90%. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of profit taking that could be had on the table. A lot of the hourly charts are very overextended. But with that, let's get into my bullish sentiment first. So it is unfortunate that I have to provide this. I really thought last night we were going to drop. There was an ascending wedge that broke down, and then this morning a crazy market order came in and push price up. And, you know, that happens. Unfortunately, with TA, it works about 95 to 99% of the time, I find. And this 1 to 5% is where these crazy orders come through. So, yeah, it happens. And we move forward and get over it. So we, like I said, invalidated, back tested, now we're above. Definitely above the gold line, again, as stated. I'm expecting this to pull back a little bit. Most likely to the 49K area. This would make perfect sense if I go into a 4-hour. 4-hour is way overextended on RSI and MACD. I mean, these are the highest values we've seen since July 26. So I had said this in my Discord. I do expect a pullback, whether we are bearish or bullish. I do expect at least a 5 to 10% pullback. It would make sense. It would allow the charts to breathe. I mean, this thing has gone up virtually in a straight line. And nothing ever goes up in a straight line. There are always pullbacks. Even here when we were going up, there were pullbacks. So let's measure this out. 4 hours. So last time we reached about 85 RSI, which was right here. So we'll go from 40,400 all the way down to 36,600, which where the bottom was. That's about a 10% decrease. So if I come in here and I go from top to bottom and I go about 10%. So anywhere on this 49.6, which kind of aligns with some prior resistance right around here around 50K. So I'd say anything about 50K if you're not in this market yet, it'd definitely be a good idea to start along there. Again, be cautious because this could be a huge trap, and I will go over that in a minute too. But if you are bullish and you do believe that we're going to break all-time highs and everything's working out bullishly, then I would look to enter around 50K. I wouldn't get in just yet. Things are looking pretty overextended. Again, RSI on the daily, very high. MACD on the daily does look pretty strong now, and price action is looking a little better, a little bit more bullish. But again, when you have huge pumps, you have some dump. So I expect to see a little bit of at least a correction, I'd say, before continuing much higher. I just want to say hey real quick. What's up, Alec? Terry, good chat earlier, man. That was awesome to talk about. What's up, Avenger? What's up, Whoa? Oh, May, you were first this time? That's awesome. Usually it's Terry. So Avenger says, why not retest 47K where it stalled out? Sorry, I have an alarm going off. Well, that's possible. It would be possible. You know, I'm going off the actual metrics from the 4 hour, it is definitely possible to retest 46K, but I think if we retest 46K, we start invalidating bullish sentiment. So you have to remember, this is the bullish sentiment I'm providing, not what I am playing or expecting to play out. But this is the bullish sentiment. So if we want to remain bullish, we need to do something like this. Where is my arrow tool? Whatever. So we need to do something like this. Probably come down, either retest 52, which I even think isn't enough. It could be, but I don't think so. And to be fair, I don't think this is the strongest retest. I think it's just So really retest this line up in here. We also have, let's draw some support. We also have some, what looks like could be support right around this 49 to 50K area. It acted as resistance over here. It acted as a little bit of resistance right here. So I would imagine a touch there, maybe a bounce higher like that, or maybe a touchdown and maybe some sideways movement and go up, just to retest this upward trend line. But again, this is a, I do expect some pullback, some kind of pullback. Everything's very overextended in my opinion. But I will give you this, bulls. You do have some decent recent price action. You have some stair stepping up. Volume is going up as price is going up. That is technically bullish. So you got that going for you. Also, last live stream I talked about RSI playing into resistance. We are now seeing RSI breaking out of that resistance. So again, another little bullish sign. MACD very strong again. Let's look at some hourly charts for sure. 4 hour, we kind of talked about that, how RSI is overextended. I expect a pullback. Let's look at a 1 hour. Actually, let's look at a 12 hour first. 12 hour, one thing I do note is price action is pretty decent here. We're going up as we're going up in volume, as we're going up in price. You know, that's what you want to see with bullish price action. Does it mean that it's going to play out long term? I don't try to place hourly charts on what's going to happen very long term, but this is a sign of strength, especially going into what this resistance is. And MACD again, not looking very weak anymore. We did gain a big momentum candle here, so again looking a little strong. I still expect somewhat of a pullback because the 12 hours at about 80, and last time it reached 80, we had about a 10% pullback. So now let's look at the 1 hour. The 1 hour, man, this is just crazy volume in here. I really thought that this ascending wedge was going to play out. I believe it's like this. Yeah, I really thought that was going to play out. We actually broke down and then came right back up. So crazy little bear trap there. That was funny because I woke up really early this morning to let my dog out to use the restroom. And I checked my phone and I had a bunch of messages on Discord. Everyone was like, Roman, we're dropping. Dump. And turns out that it was actually a fake out. And we pumped. So, you know, it happens. That's why you use stop losses. Let's look at some other stuff. Let's look at a weekly real quick. All right. So weekly. Again, talking about bear or bullish sentiment here. Weekly, we are above the whole moving average. In prior markets, if you can see, every time, this is really weird, but every time we came down, we came up, drop. Up, through it, retest, drop. Up, through it, retest. And now we're kind of above. We are above. Not kind of. We are above. So if this does close above the whole moving average, I would say this is a sign of strength as well, a sign of bullishness. There's about 3 to 4 days left in the week. Yeah, about 3 to 4 days left in the week. And could see this close. So just keep an eye out on that. If there is correction and it doesn't bounce or it corrects further than 10%, this is something you guys want to watch for sure. And again, I will look at Bitcoin dominance for bullishness. So Bitcoin dominance, again, hard for me to say this is bullish, but there is a breakout and that could be good for Bitcoin. That's all I got. Now I'm going to kind of go into some bearishness. So although we have seen a nice clean breakout, although some of my invalidation points have been met, and although price action on the hourly time frames looks good, I'm going to start with a weekly for bearish sentiment here, guys. And I know I'm going to get a lot of pushback on this and a lot of hate. I know a lot of you guys are bullish and will remain bullish, and that's totally fine. This is about trading, not about being bearish or bullish. And I'm trading based on my indicators and trading based on what I see, and price action is one of my most important indicators because it tells me when there are fake outs and when there are real breakouts or breakdowns. So starting with the weekly, I want you guys to look at something real quick. I want you to look at the volume, and I want you to look at the price. So in a healthy bull market, excluding COVID, because COVID was a black swan event, from about 6K to about 40K, volume constantly went up as we were pushing up in price. Now, when we reached about this 30K bottomish area and went all the way to 60, volume tapered off and went down. That was a sign of weakness or exhaustion, which is why we had this crazy sell-off. Now here we are again. We are pushing up from a bottom, pushing to 55K again. We are invalidating some things, and that's great. But look at volume. We are going down in volume. Way down in volume. That's not a sign of strength. To me, in my trading system, this is a sign of a fake out. Have I longed? Yes, I longed today. I longed at 51,000 yesterday, and I longed at 52,500, and then I longed again at 53,100. Am I still holding these? Or am I still holding these longs? No, I sold them all. Actually, correction, I kept about 1% of what I had, but I sold the rest. Why? One, because we're overextended. Two, because this isn't valid on a longer time frame. This isn't healthy. And for anyone that says, we have 3 more days left in the week, Roman, that's why volume's so low. Well, the weekend we hardly see any volume, and you have 2 days left to really push above a lot of these volume candles. So keep that in mind. Please keep that in mind. Don't just go aping into this. Because in the last 2 market cycles also, we did see price push over the whole moving average. I will pull this up. We did see price push over the whole moving average. Here, oh, I got to take off log. Right here. This is 2014. We saw it again in 2018, twice. And now we're seeing it again in 2021. If this weekly closes here, I will be more bullish than I am right now. But for right now, we can't go off price just being there. We need to close above it. We need to secure it. The closing really does secure it. So Ant says, can you look at a monthly as well? From my perspective, I believe we can make a potential double top. Plus on the monthly, RSI will be headed towards 90 if we retest the all-time high, of course. So yeah, this is very likely. We could make a double top. It is a decent potential. I wouldn't say I could go with that. I could definitely see that because volume's still very low, and we are what, 6 days? Well, we're only about 6 days in October, so subject to change. But it could make a double top. I don't necessarily think it will. I think we'll have our answer here soon. But guys, just keep in mind, it's okay to be a little safe. Like, price action is the thing, or the indicator in my system that keeps everything in check. Because if I just aped into everything, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. But back to the daily bearish sentiment. One thing I want to note: volume is extremely low still. Today it's gone up, and we're going to talk about why that is today. I think today is a black swan kind of day. But if we look at over here, when we were clearing resistance, we had a ton of volume come in. We had like 150K Bitcoin each of those days in circulation when we were breaking all of this resistance. And to be honest, we've had half of that. I think we've had about 80? Yeah, about 75K, 76K. That's half of what it took to break some of these larger resistances when we were pushing bullish. Keep that in mind. Another thing, I want to talk about is, let's see these moving averages. We are above the moving averages, so if you're bullish, nice. You're above moving averages. But this is all some weirdness in here. It doesn't feel very natural yet. The next thing I want to go over is what exactly happened today. Sorry, I've been talking for like 3 hours. So what exactly happened today? You're in my Discord. You know what happened today. There was a $1.6 billion market order that went in at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. It was 1.6, sorry, million. I meant billion. Mess that up. $1.6 billion market order. Went in at 6 or 7 a.m. It filled in 5 minutes. So I was discussing earlier, there's 2 reasons that this happens. One, this is the most FOMO thing ever, and someone really does believe that we're going up and going to 100K, and they FOMO'd in. But then it leads me to, why are they FOMOing in if they have $1.6 billion? Like, if you have $1.6 billion of liquid cash, why are you FOMOing? Money doesn't mean as much to you. And, like, who puts $1.6 billion in when the market's as overextended as it is on hourly time frames? Most of these big orders are over the counter. They're bought very slowly. They try not to send these big orders in right away because it'll actually move the price up and they won't be buying. So, like, for example, if they did this order at 50K, it moves it up to 52, 53K. So their order gets more expensive as it starts to fill. Why is someone doing this? So the second reason, I think this is playing into something bigger, something trappier, something that no one expected. You had bearish until this whole moving average. You had some retail and smarter traders kind of waiting to make bigger buys until some of these invalidation points that I had pointed out really hit the mark. You had the people that have money and worth a damn watching this level right here, and it just broke. It broke with ease. There was no pushback. There was a validated bearish pattern that ended up being a fake out. And it was validated by price action. But then all of a sudden, this huge order comes in. If that doesn't seem a little fishy to you, I don't know what to tell you. Because no company throws that much money at something so fast. Like, I don't know where a company would get that approval. And I don't think it's, to be honest, I don't think this is an individual doing this. Because the FOMO would be at an all-time high. Like, that is insane. Unless they were quickly pumping the price to make a quick buck, but I think they would get in trouble for that. When you're looking at volume, do you pay more attention to the spikes or to the average of the lines and the smaller? I just kind of look at it overall, like even for today. So one thing I want to see is volume ellipsing these or getting over these sell-off periods or big sell-off. Unfortunately, this is a very short time frame. Like if I look back here, what gave me a lot of confidence in that this was going to continue higher is this ellipses the last kind of big sell-off candle, which could be here or could be here. It shows more strength. It shows the bulls are kind of back in control. With bears being in control with sell-offs, the last kind of big push was maybe this candle or maybe one of these back here, and then this big sell candle happened, which ellipses the last set of volume or buying. So to me, that says bears are now in control. I mean, this is very low volume for considering what's happened. I mean, we just went through some of the craziest resistance ever, and there's hardly any volume to back it up. It's very awkward. Yeah, Cheese, 1.6 billion. We did say that's someone that might also want to just be noticed. Very weird. It has to be a buy minimum. I don't know what that means. Hi, Roman. My thoughts exactly. They lost 160 million on that 1.6 bill trade. No one does that. Yeah, I mean, again, am I 100% bearish? No. I had discussed that when we were here, I was about 80-20, 80% bearish, 20% bullish. I'm not quite 50-50. I'm more about 70-30 to 60-40. Bearish to bullish, still leaning more bearish, just because there's just some weird stuff going on, and I'm not comfortable with being in a market where, again, weird stuff happens daily, and that's fine. But this is next level. This is a little uncomfortable, and I'm not gonna put my money on the line when something's uncomfortable. We're not going to 100K tomorrow. If I have to pay another 5% premium for another long, I'm perfectly fine with that. I made $2,000 today. I'm not too concerned about making money. Trust me. My bets, it was a country. It could have been a country, but again, a country acts like a corporation or a business. Why would they just throw all that money in there right away? It's very awkward. Did you ever have a big loss or blew your account and have some tips on how to recover? So I never blew my account, but when I first started trading, I lost about 50% of my account. It sucked. But it was a lesson. If I could go back, I would have started with a much smaller amount. I would have started with $100. And that way I could really learn how this works and learn risk management and why things work and maybe develop a system. Because you have to remember, when you first start trading, you're really just developing a system for yourself. And you're trying to figure out what works for you. And on top of that, in the middle of trying to figure all that out, you're going to take a lot of losses, like a lot. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. A lot of things aren't going to go your way. And that's just how it goes. Like every trader's journey is like this. You start out losing a lot, and then you slowly recover, and you slowly start to see some intellect come in where you start making gains and you start being consistent. Yeah, she's back on that. Yeah, you generally wouldn't do a market order. You do OTC or a limit buy or something like that. Could the 1.6 billion purchase meant to prevent a bear market, not to pull the rug? But we've been in a bear market for 6 months. Oh, that's mass. Yeah, we've been in a bear market for about 6 months. So I wouldn't say it's to prevent a bear market, as we've been in a bear market for 6 months. Whether you guys like it or not, we've been below all-time highs for 6 months. If you bought at 60 to 65K, you are at a loss right now. You are technically, well, you are losing. You are 100% losing. Bear market. If this was a stock, they would tell you that this is a bear market in here. 100%. And it's over a half a year's time span. It's not like we're below all-time highs from last week. We're below them from half a year ago. That's technically a bear market, at least in my opinion. But no, I don't think the 1.6 billion could be to prevent a bear market, as it didn't put us over all-time highs or trigger any FOMO or anything. I really do, like, in my personal honest opinion, I think it is to extend the trap, which is why I'm being cautious. Am I going to long? Probably. When we pull back, I am going to look to long anywhere between 49.5 and 50K, like I suggested. Am I going to go balls to the walls with my long? Hell no. Am I going to buy half as much as I think I'm going to buy? Yes. I'm going to try and protect my account here. If we start breaking back above 52, 55, and 60K, will I go balls to the wall? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I'm going to go balls to the wall. And if I have to admit that I was wrong, fine. Then I'll admit that I was wrong, but I'll have made money in the process, and I'm perfectly fine with that. This is trading, not bullshit. Yeah, there was a ton of positive crypto news. I think US Bank did something. They're extending crypto to some of their people, I think. Why would you do it all at once, even if you wanted to spend that much? Yeah, that's what we're trying to say, is why would they do it all at once? Because they're going to take a net loss from doing it. Between the fees and the prices they're getting at, because you actually lose money on a market, like you lose significantly more money on a market order. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Also, we discussed there weren't a lot of short liquidations today. Like there's only 17 million in short liquidations. That's not a lot. So it's really weird as to why they're pushing it up. Maybe they're trying to get retail to start FOMOing in. I don't know if you guys have any friends, but I've had 10 friends today ask me if they should buy Bitcoin. I said, hold off, wait for a small correction. Let's wait and see what happens. People are starting to see the movement that's been happening. They should have bought it 29 to 30K if they really wanted to buy, but retail's starting to notice it. The news is starting to notice it. Things are starting to pick up. Things are starting to move. The clock's turning, man. It's going and the train's rolling. And retail's going to start buying if they haven't already, which I think they have. And there's two sides here. We either continue bull market or this is the biggest bull trap of all time. And to be fair, I'm trying to give weight to both scenarios. So if this is the biggest bull trap of all time, I could lose a shit ton of money. If it's the bull market, I can layer my buys in, be safe, and continue to make money on the way up. That's how I see it. Let's see. There's a ton. How do you fish for sale? Get them to FOMO. Yep, you get them to FOMO. Also, altcoins aren't pumping. Other than SHIB. Altcoins aren't moving. Altcoins always outperform Bitcoin in a bull market. Which is why I'm going to talk about Bitcoin dominance. I had someone in my Discord say that Bitcoin pumping dominance-wise means that we're back into a bull market. This is completely wrong. This is 1,000% wrong. Guys, think of it this way. Altcoins outperform Bitcoin in a bull market. Bitcoin outperforms altcoins in a bear market. Bitcoin just pumped through its resistance line here. Bitcoin is about to confirm a double bottom on Bitcoin dominance. Does that seem bullish to you? The same exact thing happened in 2018. If we have a 10 to 20% correction, everything changes. 10 to 20% in crypto isn't that much. And if we drop that much, alts are going to get absolutely murdered. So Bitcoin dominance is going to continue to go up. Think about that for a minute. This is not a bullish chart. Also, Total 2 has not broken out yet. Total 2 is showing a double top still. Just something to keep in mind. I need some water. Oh, man. Let's see. Look at MicroStrategy or Grayscale. They do tiny orders, OTC. Yes, that's what they do. They don't just buy 100 mil or 200 mil at a certain price point. They're buying it as it's bouncing around. They're buying it over multiple days to weeks. They're buying it over a month time span. No one just buys $1 billion market order without meaning something. And it's not, I don't mean something as simple as they think the bull market's continuing. I think they're doing this because something else is playing. Like something, like it doesn't smell right. My gut still isn't saying up. My gut doesn't feel good about this. And to be fair, there's still a lot of bearishness on other charts like Bitcoin dominance, like total. Even Bitcoin itself is not that strong on the weekly, is not that strong on the daily. Hourly time frames, I'll give it to you. Those are strong, but longer time frames have way more relevance than shorter time frames. So if this is a bull trap, we are entering a multi-year bear market. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But I don't want to sit here and keep saying that this is a bull trap. I can't just sit on my hands and be ignorant and say, no, this is bearish all the way, bearish. Like, no, we are invalidating things. We are invalidating resistances. So far, we need a day close above them, which it looks like we're most likely going to do. We need to retest them and make them support, which I think there's a capability to do so. And also, I mean, volume technically is kind of coming in on the daily, so I can't completely say this is, I can't say I'm as bearish as I previously was. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. I am looking too long around the $50,000 level again, but I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm 100% bullish and that this couldn't still be a trap. I mean, this just smells fishy, and I'm still going to be very cautious. Can we stabilize at 40 for 3 months, for example? I mean, we could. Anything's possible. Yeah, Mass. Let me pull up the. I believe so. Let me try and pull it up. So here's Twitter. I believe if you go to cryptoquant.com, they actually show you. I don't know if this link is going to kill me or not, but I don't know how to use this. I don't feel like using it, so we're not going to use it. But this tweet came out, and basically, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that this came out. We moved up so fast. I don't doubt it. So back to here. Pull this up. Whoops. Pull this up. Yeah, all right. Let's look at some altcoins real quick. Some alts. So I have an alarm going on for XLM. It's one of my favorite ones to trade. All right. XLM. Let's just draw some quick trend lines. Man, this looks weird, but I won't mess with that. Not bad, not bad. We are seeing somewhat of an uptrend. Ooh, this would actually be pretty good if there was a pullback. XLM could be seeing an inverted head and shoulders. Basically, we would come back down to this 0.31 level and then go up. Your neckline is about 0.34. So if we break above 0.34, could be a decent long or a breakout trade. I'm looking for a pullback regardless, so I'm not expecting this to break out right away. I think that most time frames are pretty overextended. Like, again, RSI's very overbought. And with Bitcoin, pretty much every time frame is overextended in the buying perspective, except for the weekly and the monthly. You missed my question 4 back. Let me see, Sandals. It's been a lot of... Let's see. I don't think your question came through. I don't see it. Can you retype it, Sandals? Happy to answer it. So yeah, XLM could be good. Kind of seeing an inverted head and shoulders, possibly. Like I said, I'd want to see a little bit of pullback, a little bit more play on this right-handed shoulder, and then eventually a breakout above this neckline. Yeah, I don't see your question. Ultimately, I think another breakout for XLM could be here around 0.42. So important levels to watch, 0.34, 0.42. Breaking that, pretty solid for XLM. Let's look at Ethereum. Let's see what Ethereum's doing. Ethereum did break above the neckline and has back tested it twice. Kind of a bullish sign for Ethereum. Overall, please keep an eye on Bitcoin. If there is a pullback, this could pull back down to the neckline, or it could go lower and probably test some of this support down here around 27 to 3K. Just a level to look at. Let's look at the 4-hour real quick. So yeah, I see I'm just gonna remove some of this stuff. Just basic support and resistance, like levels I'd want to watch. Anywhere between 3,200 and around 3,200, and watch that. And then the lowest one would be this 2,700 level. Again, Bitcoin looks very overextended. A pullback would mean alts have a bigger pullback, so we either come here or here. That's where I'd look to long, or at least start a position. Overall, Ethereum kind of having that XLM vibe where we are seeing a inverted head and shoulders. We'd have to come down to, again, this 3,200 level, like really touch it, and then continue up like that. The neckline being this level right here, which is 3,600. So important levels to watch for Ethereum. I'd say about 3K, 3,600. If those break, I would say that all-time high is imminent. And I will also point out that on the weekly, I think someone in my Discord mentioned this. This is kind of a cup and handle. So just keep an eye on that. Not a bad setup for Ethereum, especially if Bitcoin is bullish. Again, Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin in every single bull market. So if you're willing to be a little bit more risky, maybe throw your money in Ethereum. I usually do. I usually throw my DCA and at least a decent swing trade into Ethereum. It usually works out pretty well. Let's look at a really shitty. Let's look at Sheeb. God, what is that? It's bigger than my girlfriend's dildo. Wait, did I just say that? I'm just kidding. Or am I? Oh, wow, that is crazy. What is that percent gain? 400%. Yeah, like I said, I think this if you're in Sheeb, awesome. Maybe take some profits. That's a 4x in a week. Maybe look to take some profits on that. Sheeb, I think your next resistance, I mean, this coin's pretty new, so it's hard to tell, but it looks like we kind of wicked off 0.00001, so maybe a pullback to here. I think that'd be healthy, as it is very overextended on the day. Just kind of keep out for that. Keep a line for that. If you want to hold it long term because you think Sheeb's going to perform really well, maybe put your stop loss somewhere below this line that I just drew. But overall, I do think Sheeb's going to have a pullback. A lot of these coins look very overextended again and looks like they could use a nice little pull, at least 5 to 10% pullback. Sheeb, on the other hand, will probably get like a 20 to 30. The harder you pump, the harder you dump, or harder you correct, I should say. I love me some Bitcoin Cash. All right, I'll look at Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash. Ooh, this is actually a pretty bearish chart. Just right off the bat, we have an oh, actually, it's not as bad as I thought it was. So we have a head and shoulders. We have a left shoulder, your head, and your right shoulder. The neckline being here, maybe even a little lower, maybe a little higher. It's more of a zone, not just a line. Please remember that. Do have a breakup. So not bad, pretty good price action. I would have said a couple days ago this price action is pretty ugly, but overall, volume is going up as price is going up on that breakout. So I'd say that's pretty valid. Not a bad deal. If you were looking to long, maybe look to long here. If the day closes here, that is. If we close above this resistance line, yeah, I'd say not a bad place to start a breakout long. I wouldn't go too heavy. As for stop loss, I'd probably throw it below this 4-hour candle just so that you have a little bit of wiggle room. But again, if Bitcoin does correct, this thing could just get nuked. So just be wary of that. All right. Does anybody have any questions before I go on another rant about this whole upward movement that made no sense? Get some water while you think. Adam. All right, you want to see Adam? I think I've talked about Adam before a couple times. Like I said, the chart looks pretty bullish. Overall, wow, big correction. Wow, what the hell? A 20% volatility candle. Okay, that's interesting. It looks pretty good. The upward movement is very bullish. The sideways movement is still very bullish. If Bitcoin does continue to break out, Adam could be a great alt to hold. Overall, I think, let's look at a 4-hour. Yeah, so if you want to start a long, maybe look around this 0.33. We already bounced off it once. Could bounce near it or off it again to form a double bottom. Overall, I do see a very big possible double bottom. Again, we'd have to bounce off 0.3, or it's not 0.3, 33.3-ish. So, not a bad spot to start along on Adam. And honestly, a pretty good looking day chart. Let's look at a weekly. Yeah, pretty strong. But again, this coin, or at least this chart, started in 2019. So I can't really give a whole lot of basis because it's been in a bull market its whole life. I do see volume tapering off here, which could be a sign of exhaustion. But, I mean, this is so much volume in here. I still think this is pretty bullish. And the weekly volume going down as price is going down, that is still bullish. So I'd say Adam's a pretty good looking chart if you're looking to long. Definitely around that 33 range. BNB. All right, we can look at BNB. BNB. So it looks like BNB kind of retested this double top neckline. Isn't above it, actually rejected it today. So if we break above this line, and again, more of a zone, I'd say anywhere in this wick, not a bad breakout trade. I'd look more around the 460 area for a long, but that's just my opinion. Again, BNB's kind of making that inverted head and shoulders pattern that a couple of other alts are making, could come down and then shoot up. Let me remove this message. Could dim down, come up, but again, neckline for that would be about this 430 area. Honestly, maybe a little higher, around 434. If you're trying to play the inverted head and shoulders, that is. My stop loss would probably go anywhere between 364 and 320 on this one, just because getting below the head would really confirm a downtrend. Search the name BitGoats. He's the day trader. He sold 63K, targeting 30K on live stream in April. He called this rally last week, targeting 60K the weekly. Really brilliant trader. So does he think, let me ask you, does he think that we are bearish or bullish? Does he think that we're going to break all-time high or not? I just saw XLM breakout. Yeah, I wouldn't say just yet. You want this you really want this to be a little bit more above. Plus, I still think there's going to be some pullback. I mean, XLM's 1 hour is massively overextended. Last time we were this high or in the area of overextension, we had a 3% and then a not 10%. So just be wary that it is a little overextended. So, all right, I want to talk about a couple things I was talking about earlier. Just real quick, then we'll go over a couple more alts and we'll probably call it a day because I've had quite the long day. So, I've had a lot of questions and a lot of hateful tweets directed towards me on that I'm wrong and that now I'm going to have to buy at 100K and FOMO in and do all this and that. Guys, I was in the 2017, 2018 bear market. There were plenty of bull traps that no one expected. There were plenty of resistances that got invalidated with very low volume that retail FOMO'd in on, and they got absolutely wrecked. I was there. I survived it. It was like surviving R. Kelly. I survived that. I've seen all of it. I've seen the emotions that tie in. As soon as Bitcoin got back over 13K, everyone was screaming for 50K. Everyone was screaming more all-time highs. Everyone was getting greedy. Emotions were at an all-time high. I've been absolutely emotionless through this whole thing. My heart hasn't skipped a beat. I haven't sent out hateful tweets or been angry. If my analysis gets invalidated, that's fine. But for now, my system has worked for me and has made me a lot of money. I'm not going to try and trade against my system. I'm not going to try and develop something new because what I use has been wrong one time since I've used it. Have I lost on trades before? Absolutely. But I'm not going to go balls to the wall when price action is the worst it's ever been or lowest it's ever been since last October on a weekly chart. So with that said, the same kind of fishiness that's happening right now happened last bear market or last time we tried to retake the bull market per se. And I don't want to sound like that guy that's like, oh, we're in a bear market until all-time highs are breached. But technically, we are in a bear market until all-time highs are breached. 65K is the all-time high. We have been under it for 6 months. We have low volume trying to push back up to 65K. Could we? Yes. Do I think we will? I think there is a possibility, but I'm still being extremely cautious. Even if I'm longing in this zone or this area between 50 and 65K, I am not full porting it. I am not playing heavy bets. I'm not buying altcoins. I'm being very cautious with tight stop losses. And no, I don't short. So stop asking me. Stop saying that I'm losing and I'm mad because I've lost. I don't short. So stop making yourself look like a fool. I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. I tell my girlfriend every time, but she's like, she's got a problem with that. But seriously, guys, you got to be cautious in these high emotional times. I've always said it this way. In trading is like boxing. When you put your guard down and you start showboating and you start getting excited and think you're winning, that's when you get knocked out. I don't know if any of you guys watch the UFC, but George Masvidal, Kamaru Usman. George Masvidal was probably winning the fight, hitting Usman a little bit here and there. He started showboating. Kamaru Usman threw a 1-2 and knocked George Masvidal unconscious. Completely unconscious for like a whole minute. Won the fight. All the fans went crazy. Everyone thought George was going to win, and he lost. Here we have a similar scenario. Everyone in their mother on social media, in the news, everywhere is bullish. We are still below all-time highs. This is the 6th month we've been under all-time highs. Did we have a nice bull swing? Absolutely. We're up 40%. If you bought that 40K bottom, good on you, man. Good on you. There is, double bottom. Great on you. But everyone's guard is down. When everyone's guard is down, that's when the punch comes in. That's when the big correction comes in. Or that's when the trap comes in. So just be wary. There is going to be a pullback. I can almost guarantee you there's going to be either a large fake out dump or at least a small corrective pullback. There has to. This chart's way overextended. Multitudes of people are up 30 and 40%. People are going to profit take. I don't see Bitcoin going much higher, at least in the short term. Like, I don't think it's going to go to 60K tomorrow. If it does, geez, I don't know what to say. But this chart is pretty overextended, at least per my bounds. And I've shown multiple examples of when it was overextended. We had pullbacks. Yes, we continued up. We did. But we did have nice pullbacks. And if you're looking for an entry point, I would wait and be patient for that pullback. Could we go to 56K tonight? Absolutely. We probably will. But in that regard, I still think we're going to see a pullback. What's my blue drink? Nuclear waste, baby. Now, I'm going to the gym after this. That's why I have a tank top on. This is my pre-workout. Yeah, it's good shit. 2017, 2018 was resistance broken through like this. Yes, I went over the Hall moving average, which I use the Hall weekly moving average very often to show bullishness or bearishness, at least in cycle sense. So in 2018, let's pull out the weekly. 2018, Hall moving average. Where did you go? Did I really delete that on accident? Hold on, let me re-add it. Accidentally deleted that. Use it. So Hall moving average. In 2014, we zoom in, and I'll even go to the daily time frame. Let's go to the daily. So on a daily time frame, Hall moving average. In 2014, this is 2014, we went above it. We actually went, let's see, we went about 7% above it. Twice. In 2018, we went above it. Let's see, about 5%. Tested it twice, made a double top. 2021, we are above it by about 5%. I don't think we can say we've officially cleared this yet, as this is a weekly moving average. We need the weekly to close above, and I also think we need a back test. So basically, you would maybe go up here, come back down to where it would be, and then continue up like that. That would be a nice little back test. That would be very bullish. But this thing has never really failed. It's been a very consistent indicator of bull and bear market cycle. You can see we go above it, we go below it, we retest down. Go above it, go below it, retest down. Go above it, retest down. So, in my opinion, we need to wait at least for the week to end to say that we've officially broken the Hall moving average. A close would really secure that and really enforce a very strong bullish narrative, in my opinion. So wait for that. But I do still think there's enough time to correct below it. So if we do correct below it, that's a very bearish sign, and I'd keep an eye on that. Also, we do have somewhat of a double top forming on the day. Again, just keep an eye out. I believe on the weekly as well. Yeah, on the weekly, like if this week really does come down and reject this Hall moving average, I'd say that's a pretty good double top, especially with this volume right here. I mean, this is extremely low volume. I use price action to validate breakouts, and to me, this volume is extremely low. I don't think it validates this breakout quite yet. Yeah, this is a good exit. A lot of people bought in around here before it went to 30. Yeah, I think some people that even held from 60 might be getting ready to offload because they held through this whole shitstorm here, and now they get a chance to really get out and not take a loss. When things move like this, are there strong odds that there's a pullback? It could look like it's going to start going back up, so everyone that wanted to get back in does, but then it dumps. Yeah, that's called FOMO. Again, I really do think there's going to be a pullback, or at least a corrective pullback. 5 to 10% would really slim down the 4-hour being as overbought as it is. It would allow the daily to breathe a little bit. It would allow some of these other hourly time frames like the 12-hour to kind of breathe and come down. It would allow MACD to breathe and come down. Again, I think a corrective pullback, whether you are bullish or not, or bearish or not, is going to happen. If you're bullish, you need it. This has been going up in a straight line. That's not healthy at all. If you're bearish, you see this unhealthiness and you see what's going on, and maybe you think we're going to go down lower. Yeah, hater tears. Hater tears. Yeah, flex. All right, guys. I'm going to take some last minute questions and then I'm going to head out of here. My head's starting to buzz from this pre-workout, so I gotta go before I get on a rant and punch a hole through my computer screen. But I hope today really helped some of you at least understand my standpoint and where I'm at. I've seen stuff like this happen before. Am I completely bearish? No. I have always been open to always open to the chance that we are still in a bull market cycle and we could continue upwards and possibly break 65K and maybe, slim chance, maybe get to 100K by the end of the year. It is a possibility. Anything's a possibility when you're trading. If you lean on one bias the entire time, you are setting yourself up for failure. You need to be able to adjust and adjust quickly. You have to have a plan A and a plan B, and I've said this 100 times. I say it all the time in my Discord. You need to have a plan A and a plan B, because if plan A fails, then you execute plan B and you succeed. Always set yourself up to win and you'll never lose. Did you see how hard Wall Street freaked out in the after hours? Everything feels so connected yet weak. Yeah, it really does seem very odd. Again, volume's very low. Look at the weekly. Very, very low. We're breaking resistances very low. The stock market's in a place where it could get nuked at any moment. We're waiting for the Evergrande news. The U.S. debt ceiling only got raised for 90 days. It feels fishy and weird. It feels like crypto is the market that people can easily manipulate and pump and get the most money out before doomsday. And maybe whales are seeing what's happening in the world and they're like, okay, let's pump the shit out of this and then let's get out. And to be fair, if we continue pumping higher here and we don't break 65K and this was a bear trap, we're probably going to see below 15K at Bitcoin. Sub 15K. Definitely. What about for Atom? Oh, good exit point for Atom. So I don't really like provide exit points in my trading strategy. I don't, because if that point's not reached, then you never got to sell and take profit. I more or less look for exhaustion, or I look for overextension. Like if we're way overextended, like let's say Atom goes up 100% over the next 2 or 3 weeks. You know, it's an altcoin. It can do that. If the daily 4-hour, 1 hour, everything in there, if it's pretty overextended, I'm probably going to exit that trade. 100% is plenty for me. And it really 100% is great for anybody. If you made 100% in 2 weeks, you're doing something right. So just keep that in mind. I don't really give exit points. I can't, because if you're wrong about your exit point, you never get a chance to exit. So I'd more or less look for like exhaustive patterns, maybe a bearish pattern to form, or a bearish pattern to form and validate, especially on like a 4-hour or a day, or maybe trend to break. So like if you were really trading this by ways of trend, you know, you draw your trend line, and when it breaks here at 35K, that's when you sell. So we still haven't broken above this, but I don't think this line's as valid anymore, just because we're back above 53K. If we retrace, then I'll probably keep this line up. But for now, I don't think breaking above this line really matters, because if we break above this line, we're now above all-time high. Even if we touch the line, we're pretty much near all-time high. Some suggestion to enter on Link. Linky boy. So Link, I kind of drew the overall trend line from March 2019. It's been riding it pretty consistently, so you know, I would maybe look to enter around this any bounce along this trend line. Just looking at like a 4-hour, if I were to draw support and resistance, I don't know. This is tough because I do see a head and shoulders. Yeah, we do have a head and shoulders. You have your left shoulder, your head, your right shoulder, and we are retesting this neckline-ish. It seems like we've bounced off of it twice. This could be a double top. Volume is weird, but not terrible. If I was looking to enter, I'd want to make some support here and maybe some support here. Let's say this rides down to here. Maybe try for a long, especially if Bitcoin's looking very strong. If Bitcoin really does break down, Link will probably break down and come back to 22. Not a bad entry, especially because it's around this trend line. As for stop loss, I think anything below that large trend line that I just drew is pretty valid, because it's considering it's bounced off it several times before. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit. The insane volatility, positive or negative? So really, volatility is a sign of confusion in the market, that investors aren't accumulating. Like when you see these big upward waves, there's a lot of sideways movement. Excluding COVID, there's a lot of sideways movement, even for, and this is a weekly chart, remember, even for this mini bull cycle, we had a lot of sideways accumulation here, and then we saw a big gain. Even for this big dump, we had a lot of sideways and then a big dump. Again, in 2017, this kind of sloped upwards, so there was accumulation on the way, but we go up, we kind of go sideways and accumulate, go up, come down, accumulate, up, down, up, and then it kind of goes parabolic because retail gets in. But in my opinion, I think there needs to be a little bit more sideways accumulation. I would have liked to see it anywhere around here or down here to really consider the chance at a bull market cycle continuation. But for now, key things to remember: wait for this weekly to close, see where it closes. And if you're looking to long Bitcoin, maybe try and get in anywhere around the 50K area. Again, I do expect somewhat of a pullback like we discussed. I think it would be healthy and just overall good if you're bullish like that. You don't want to see things just go up in a straight line, because the harder they go up, the harder they come down. So with that said, I think I'm going to end it here. I think I got my point across. And, I actually do have one more question that came in, so let's go over that. What do I think of Ethereum to Bitcoin? I can pull that up. Ethereum to Bitcoin looks like a head and shoulders formed, so I'd be careful there. It looks like if we really, really are bullish, Bitcoin's going to have a nice run up before alts do. Alts haven't really pumped and they're red, other than SHIB, but alts aren't looking strong. I would look to more or less get into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is looking stronger. Bitcoin dominance is looking stronger, which is a sign of weakness in the bull market cycle. What do you want? Boy, do you want to show yourself on live? Keeps bothering me. He wanted to be on live today. Come here, look. Oh, he's camera shy. What can I say? I was at first too. But yeah, I would look more at Bitcoin comparatively to alts. You can buy Bitcoin with any amount. It doesn't matter. Alts aren't necessarily looking very strong, especially Ethereum when I see this head and shoulders on the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart. So keep that in mind. But with that said, guys, I think I'm going to wrap things up. I've had a pretty long day. Definitely one for the history books in terms of weirdness in the crypto space. But like always, please like and subscribe if you like the content. I'd really appreciate it. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. And please join Discord. Love to see you. You can ping me or the other trading mentors. We discuss, give opinions. It's active all the time. We have people from all around the world. We also talk about other stuff in the Discord like gym fitness, pictures of your pets, just like general advice. Like I had back pain the other day and I had asked, hey, does anybody have any solutions for lower back pain? And I got one. So with that said, please join the Discord. Link is below. And as always, guys, please, please, please be patient, use risk management, and good luck trading.